In a world racing towards artificial intelligence and automation, there's a silent battle being fought, a battle for the very essence of what makes us human. What if I told you that we're being misled about the true purpose of AI? That while technology advances, we are unintentionally teaching our children to lose their most powerful gift, their humanity. This isn't just a warning, it's a call to awaken the creative fire within each of us. Today, we'll dive deep into how embracing creativity, critical thinking, and human connection is the key to not only surviving but thriving in this new era. Stay with me, because what you learn here will change the way you think about the future and your role in shaping it. This is about reclaiming your mind, your purpose, and your power. Let's begin. We've confused convenience with purpose, and it's costing us our humanity. Somewhere along the way, we began to believe that faster is always better, that easier is always smarter, and that automating something means improving it. But the truth is, when we substitute depth for speed and connection for automation, we don't just lose time, we lose meaning. We lose the very essence of what it means to be human. We've created tools that respond instantly to our commands. Yet we've become people who no longer pause to ask why we needed those commands in the first place. We're being sold a story where AI is the hero, solving our problems, making life frictionless, eliminating errors. But in that same story, we're quietly becoming less resilient, less curious, and more passive. Our purpose isn't to avoid struggle. Our purpose is to grow through it. When we automate the struggle, we automate the growth. We've grown so addicted to convenience that we now treat it as virtue. We celebrate the shortest path, the quickest solution, the most efficient answer. But purpose doesn't come from efficiency. It comes from intention. It comes from facing something difficult and choosing to show up anyway. Purpose isn't about avoiding effort. It's about choosing where effort matters most. And that's where we're getting it wrong. Because we're teaching ourselves and our children that the good life is the easy life, when in fact the most fulfilling life is often the one full of challenges that test us, stretch us, and change us. The real danger isn't that AI will take our jobs, it's that we'll surrender our purpose in the process. It's that we'll forget how to connect, how to lead, how to care, how to feel. We'll forget how to sit in silence and think deeply. We'll forget the value of making mistakes and learning the hard way. We'll forget that part of being alive means being imperfect. If we aren't careful, we'll raise an entire generation that believes convenience is the goal, not just a tool. We'll create a society where people know how to optimize, but not how to empathize, where people can code emotions into machines, but can't recognize them in a real human face. And that's the cost we're paying when we confuse convenience with purpose. We're not just upgrading our devices, we're downgrading our humanity, because purpose isn't programmed, it's chosen, it's felt, and it's lived, not downloaded. Children are not learning how to be human anymore because we are teaching them to value screens more than souls. We've handed them tablets instead of conversations, algorithms instead of emotions, and artificial responses in place of authentic reactions. And the scariest part, we're calling it progress. Kids today are growing up thinking communication is a typed message, not a shared moment. They're learning to swipe before they speak, to scroll before they think, and to respond with emojis instead of empathy. We have convinced ourselves that giving them access to information is the same as giving them wisdom. But information without understanding is just noise, and noise never raised a generation of leaders. We are conditioning young minds to believe that validation comes from likes, not from love, that success is defined by virality, not by values. We are feeding them technology and starving them of connection. A child cannot grow into a strong, grounded adult if they've never been taught how to be present with pain, to wrestle with boredom, or to sit in stillness without reaching for a screen. Yet this is exactly what we're programming them to avoid. Every beep, every buzz, every dopamine hit teaches them to escape, to numb, to run. And when they do face real adversity, which life inevitably brings, they are left unequipped, fragile, and lost. The human experience is messy, raw, and beautifully complex. It cannot be replaced by a flawless interface or a polished piece of code. Children must learn to navigate the awkward silences, the hard conversations, the feeling of failure. That is how they develop grit, compassion, and resilience. But if we continue to raise them in a digital bubble where discomfort is eliminated with a swipe, we rob them of the very tools they need to survive the real world. We are not protecting them by making life easier. We are weakening them by making life artificial. And here's the bitter irony. While we obsess over teaching AI how to act more human, we're forgetting to teach humans how to be human. The next generation is watching us. They are learning what matters by what we prioritize. And right now, they see us choosing speed over depth, convenience over connection, and screens over souls. If we want to build a better future, it starts with raising children who can lead with empathy, think with clarity, and live with purpose. But to do that, we have to show them how, not with instructions, but with our example. The glorification of efficiency and productivity has come at a silent cost, the erosion of critical thinking. In our pursuit of speed, we've begun to value answers over questions, automation over understanding, and instant results over deep reflection. We are raising and educating people to believe that thinking slowly, pausing for reflection, or challenging the obvious is a flaw instead of a strength. But the truth is, critical thinking is not just a skill, it's a survival mechanism in a world flooded with noise, misinformation, and manipulation. And yet, it's becoming rare. The systems we've built and the technologies we use are teaching us to trust convenience, not our own reasoning. A search engine gives us the right answer in seconds, and we assume it's correct because it appeared at the top. Social media feeds us opinions dressed up as truth, and we scroll past them so quickly we forget to ask, do I even agree with this? The more we outsource thinking to machines, the less we practice it ourselves, and the less we practice it, the more susceptible we become to manipulation, confusion, and control. We're now seeing a generation that struggles to form their own opinions without checking what others think first. Instead of analyzing, they aggregate. Instead of reflecting, they react. And in this reactive culture, silence and curiosity are seen as weakness, but they're not. They're the birthplace of clarity. When people can't think for themselves, they don't choose their future. They inherit it blindly. They follow trends, not truth. They adopt ideas, not because they believe them, but because they're afraid to stand alone. True critical thinking is uncomfortable. It demands that we sit in uncertainty, question what's popular, and confront our own assumptions. It requires courage because thinking differently will often make you look wrong before you're proven right. But it is also the only way we innovate, grow, and truly lead. If we want to raise a generation capable of solving the world's toughest problems, we must stop rewarding regurgitation and start encouraging real thought. That means allowing people to be wrong on the way to being right. That means valuing depth over speed and originality over obedience. The real danger of a world run by AI is not that machines will think like humans, but that humans will stop thinking altogether. If we allow the next generation to lose their grip on critical thinking, we will lose more than intelligence. We will lose integrity, discernment, and ultimately freedom, because those who cannot think for themselves will always be at the mercy of those who can. As we hand more power to algorithms and artificial intelligence, we're unknowingly reshaping what it means to be human. The rise of technology has brought incredible convenience, but with that ease comes a hidden cost: the loss of emotional intelligence. Machines are excellent at pattern recognition, automation, and data crunching, but they lack empathy, compassion, and moral reasoning. These human qualities, our ability to feel deeply, connect meaningfully, and make ethical choices, are not just valuable, they are irreplaceable. And yet, we are building a world that prizes logic over love, speed over soul, and performance over presence. When we teach children to value screen time over face time, likes over listening, and data over dialogue, we're not just shaping their habits, we're shaping their humanity. Emotional intelligence is what allows us to navigate relationships, resolve conflicts, lead with empathy, and create communities of trust. If we fail to nurture it, We will raise a generation that is brilliant with machines but bankrupt in connection. A society that functions but does not feel. One that achieves but never understands the cost of its ambition. This is not about rejecting technology. It's about recentering what makes us human. Our emotions are not weaknesses, they are signals. Our empathy is not a distraction, it's a guide. We need to teach children that while artificial intelligence can optimize performance, only emotional intelligence can build peace, belonging, and meaning. If we continue to downplay the importance of emotional literacy, we risk creating a world where intelligence is artificial and humanity is optional, and that is a future we cannot afford to accept. In a world increasingly driven by artificial intelligence, creativity is no longer just a desirable trait, it's our greatest defense against becoming irrelevant. Machines can process data faster, automate decisions, and execute tasks with perfection, but what they cannot do is imagine. They cannot dream, they cannot create something from nothing. That is the sacred domain of human beings. Creativity isn't limited to artists or designers. It's the core of innovation, leadership, and problem solving. It's what allows us to see possibilities where others see limitations, to challenge the status quo, and to envision a future no machine could ever predict. But the danger is this: we are slowly conditioning our children to consume rather than create, to follow instructions rather than ask questions, to repeat rather than reinvent. Schools reward memorization over imagination, and in doing so, we are dulling the very edge that makes us unique. When we prioritize algorithms over art, we are not just automating industries, we are erasing the spirit of invention. We are preparing kids for a world that values conformity over curiosity. True progress demands original thought. It demands the courage to fail, to iterate, to experiment without knowing the outcome. These are not qualities nurtured by code. They are the fruit of human experience. If we want the next generation to thrive in an AI-powered world, we must invest in their ability to think differently. We must show them that creativity isn't just a skill, it's a responsibility, because only by cultivating creative minds can we ensure that the future remains not only intelligent, but also inspiring. Emotional intelligence is the heartbeat of what it means to be human, and it's a quality that artificial intelligence can never replicate. While machines can analyze patterns and simulate responses, they lack the capacity to genuinely understand feelings, empathize with struggles, or build deep, meaningful connections. Emotional intelligence allows us to navigate the complexities of human relationships, to respond with compassion rather than calculation, and to lead with authenticity rather than authority. In a world rushing toward automation, the true value of emotional intelligence is becoming clearer than ever. It is the foundation of trust, collaboration, and resilience, the very traits that define successful teams and thriving communities. When we teach our children to develop emotional awareness, we are equipping them with tools far more powerful than any algorithm. They learn to listen deeply, communicate effectively, and resolve conflict with grace. These skills don't just improve personal lives. They shape leaders who inspire loyalty and innovation. Neglecting emotional intelligence in education or parenting risks creating a generation that is technically proficient but emotionally disconnected. This imbalance can lead to isolation, misunderstanding, and a lack of purpose. As technology advances, our humanity must not retreat. It must stand boldly at the forefront. Developing emotional intelligence is not a luxury, but a necessity for anyone who wants to make a meaningful impact in the world. It's through this lens of empathy and self-awareness that we unlock true potential and build a future where technology serves humanity, not replaces it. The role of creativity in defining humanity cannot be overstated, especially as technology advances at an unprecedented pace. Creativity is the spark that ignites innovation, the force that drives progress, and the essence of what makes us uniquely human. Unlike machines, which operate within programmed limits and data-driven parameters, human creativity transcends boundaries imagining possibilities that do not yet exist and crafting new realities from the depths of our minds and hearts. In teaching future generations, emphasizing creativity is crucial. It fosters critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability, skills that are invaluable in a rapidly changing world. Creativity encourages children to explore their passions, embrace failure as part of growth, and develop original ideas that can transform industries and societies. It empowers them to approach challenges with curiosity and courage rather than fear or resignation. Without nurturing creativity, we risk producing individuals who conform but do not innovate, who consume but do not create. This diminishes our collective ability to respond to complex global problems and to envision better ways of living and working together. Creativity fuels empathy, too, because it requires us to step outside ourselves and see the world through different perspectives. As we navigate the rise of artificial intelligence, we must ensure that creativity remains at the core of education and personal development. Machines can replicate routine tasks, but only humans can dream, imagine, and create something entirely new. Protecting and cultivating creativity is essential to preserving our humanity and building a future where technology enhances our creative potential instead of limiting it. It is the responsibility of parents, educators, and leaders to champion creativity, so that every individual has the opportunity to contribute their unique voice and vision to the world. As we come to the close of this conversation, remember that the true purpose of our lives and the future we create is not dictated by machines or algorithms. It is shaped by our humanity, our creativity, and our ability to connect deeply with one another. Technology will continue to evolve, but it is up to us to ensure it serves us, not replaces us. By nurturing critical thinking, empathy, and originality in ourselves, and especially in the next generation, we safeguard what makes us uniquely human. This is not just about adapting to change, it's about leading it with heart and intention. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect today. Your willingness to engage with these ideas is the first step toward meaningful change. Keep questioning, keep creating, and most importantly, keep being unapologetically human. Together, we can build a future where technology empowers us without compromising our soul. Thank you for being part of this journey.